Okay, well I'm out here this morning. It's 2 days after Christmas. Boxing Day was yesterday. So today what I want to do is bolt the mud guards on and probably put the bonnet in place so I can start looking at panel gaps, and also particularly this right hand side, get the doors on. I've got brand new the pins to go through the door hinges somewhere. Got so much stuff that I bought over the past probably 6 to 12 months, sort of just buying little bits here and there to try and spread the expense out over the longer period, rather than buying everything, having a big hit all at once. And so yeah, there's one of the mud guards. Now actually, so it was just last week that I got that video up with the paint going on, and it seems that everyone is as happy as I am with the result and the color, the choice of color. And basically I'm going with this color because it's what my first RS2000 that I bought back in 1979, the color that was on it, and I just think it's a very nice color. I do like the Monza red as well, which was what I originally ordered, but after waiting months they couldn't supply, so I took the yellow that was available in the 4-door, not the 2-door. And that's the other thing that seems to create a lot of comment on my YouTube posts, is people that don't realise that in Australia we had 4-door RS2000s, and they are a thing. So yeah, I had a comment just in regard to these. You'll see that the front guards are bolt on. Now when I got the car they were actually made to bolt on, and that's through rib nuts that are inserted into the body, and then so your bolt just goes down into the rib nut. So they're an 8mm, I think it's 8 by 1.5 off the top of my head. So I bought a little packet because there was 1 or 2 missing, and I had to just put them back in. But yeah, I decided I was going to stick with the guards that bolt on and bolt off. And what I do have to do though is down where they meet the front, down here, I'm going to have to drill a couple of holes and put a couple of I suppose I might as well just go with the rib nuts. I was tossing up whether rib nuts or just to weld a captive nut behind, but I think the rib nuts are as good as anything. And I've also got to buy some of these little screws. They're a thick, coarse screw that goes through to bolt the guard to the door pillar post there. So anyway, that's sort of what I'm looking at, and so I can start looking at panel gaps, which is going to be a ton of fun, but hopefully I'll be able to get everything looking right. If all else fails, body filler. Nah, I'll try and get it all looking right. I just did a bit of got to work out what I'm going to do with that front guard over there, where there was a little piece of steel welded in towards the back of the door, the back of the guard where it meets the door, and it seems to me that it needs to be stretched a little bit. I think that it's pulled tight when it's had that piece welded into it. And so yeah, now the other thing too, I bought this, the Escort has a rubber stopper there at the back of the bonnet, and I bought this one which has been sitting in there in a packet for quite some time, and it's all soft and squishy, like the rubber isn't cured, and I don't think it should be like that, because it's not really going to hold any weight. I don't know whether it's supposed to be like that, or whether it's, as I say, it's been sitting in on my office desk for six or 8 months since I bought it, and part of me thinks maybe I could put it in the oven. I actually used to retread tyres many years ago, so yeah, it's definitely like it's uncured rubber. So I'm wondering if I put that in the oven So what I want to do is lift the bonnet on here. So I've just put these couple of bits of couple of bits of timber here that I can lay it on and slide it over. Not that it's that big or heavy, but I do have problems with my shoulders at the moment that I can't hold weight with the arms outstretched. So I'm just going to drop it on and slide it over, then work on trying to put a couple of bolts up into it. If I can lift this thing on without scratching anything. And the other thing I've got to do is see if I can find the front, what do you call it, the little supporting posts that go under the front there. I don't know whether I ever had some or whether I've got that many buckets of bolts and bits and pieces that come with the car. So I might have to do a little bit of a search to see what I can find. Okay, so that's got that there. Now I've got to see what I can do about getting it bolted in place. And then that's looking almost like it's not going to clear. Clear that. That might be a trouble. Anyway, let's see what happens. Well, there's always got to be something that ruins your plans. And today, what it is, I've bolted that in place and I can't close it right down because that gets in the way right there. So what I think I'm going to do is maybe put a couple of stands under the front of it and unbolt this. That'll be the first time that's been unbolted for a long, long time. And I suppose then I'm free to work around the front of the car. So that's what I'm going to do, okay. Yeah, the other thing that I just decided to do also, I just popped those reservoirs on there and we'll just shut the bonnet and we'll just go up from underneath. Not a whole lot of room, but they're fine. They're fine. There's 5 mil above that closest one. At least 5 mil, yep, that'll be good. I've just sat the camera there so that I can try and get a bit of an idea if the bonnet is nice and clear as it comes up of this panel here. There does seem to be quite a wide gap, but I'm just not sure whether it's supposed to have a fairly wide gap. I sat the nose cone on the front, and the gap on the front between the bonnet and the nose cone doesn't look too bad. And as I say, I did have the problem at first when I got this car with the bonnet sort of catching on here. So I'll just try and lift it and just see how it looks as it goes up. I'm just trying to make sure that it's not catching on anything as it comes up or down. because what seems to happen, it seems that as the bonnet, as the front's lifted, this bit at the back sort of drops down. So anyway, I'll just have a look at the playback on that and just see how that looks. Whether as to I need to go back a tiny bit more. Okay, well I had a look at the playback, and to my way of thinking, if I come back any further, there's definitely going to be a problem with it catching there. I've moved the camera in a little bit closer, and I'm just going to take that up and see it comes very close. It comes very close. I can feel that catching. I'll just see if I can put something under that bonnet to hold it in that position. In fact, I'm just looking here. Maybe that bonnet needs just a little bit of extra curve on here. Because it seems to be fitting very level to the guard on that side, but I think it actually does need to go down a couple of mil on this side. And so, yeah, I think that bonnet needs to be lifted a little bit over there. So anyway, I'll have a little bit more of a play and we'll see what we can come up with. It's always a little bit difficult when it'd be nice to have another car close by that we could look at, but anyway, anyone that's watching may be able to tell me if they've got an RS whether it has a reasonably large gap at the back of the bonnet. Okay, well I've pretty much worked out where my problems lie, and you'll see there's some pencil marks that I've put. I've got a little bit of a low spot here, and I think that has come about. I'd taken the skin off this bonnet to do some repairs, and when I've welded the skin back onto the framing along here, I pretty much followed the same spot weld marks, like I lined them all up so that everything would sort of weld back exactly where it had come from. But obviously something's gone wrong here, and just in this section it's pulled down a bit. So I'm probably going to have to pop a couple of spot welds out of there and just lift that up a little bit. And so I think that I've also got a little bit of a low just there that I'm going to need to just push that out a bit, which that's not really anything too difficult. This gap along here looks pretty good. This gap here actually doesn't look bad either, except for just between there and there. The guard is running a little bit of a bow there that it's where it's been repaired. So I guess I'm going to have to cut into this and knock that back a little bit and just re-weld it. So that's nothing too difficult. It actually might also be just a touch high there. So I'll find my marker in a minute and just mark that. I think that's got to go down a little bit so I can do all that at the same time. And I think that's most of it. So what I might do now is put some of those pins through the hinges, get these driver side doors on, so that I can then look at what I'm going to do about this guard at the back of where it meets the door. Well, I've really excelled myself here. If I move that over towards the bench. Yeah, I think you can see I've found all 8 hinges. So the 6 hinges are the same and 2 are a bit longer. Now, just had a quick look, and I believe that the 2 longer ones are for the top of the front door. I'll be kicking this off if I've got that wrong. So yeah, and I've also found all 8 of the brand new hinge pins. So that's a good start. So I've just made a start with these hinge pins, and I'll just move this back again. Okay, so I think I'm just going to put these in just a little way and just check that I've got it right. The new pins are certainly nice and tight. Okay, so I'm just going to check that out and we'll come back. Well, as it turns out, the slightly longer hinges for, pretty sure that I've got it right this time, it's actually for the lower hinge on the back door. So I've removed it. Lucky I only tapped it in a slight amount and checked it, because even just that slight amount, man, these things hold in well. I had a lot of trouble getting it back out. So anyway, I'm sure I've got it right this time. Okay, so I'm going to try that just to make sure, and then I'll come back. Well, I did something I've been wanting to do for a while. I went and bought myself a air hammer, air chisel, whatever you want to call it. I thought it would be good for getting the hinges in. I did the driver's side doors the other day with a hammer, and yeah, I just think this is a far better method of being able to do this. And just put my earplugs back in. I did the driver's side, as I said the other day. I didn't use any lubrication of any sort, because I just didn't want any oils or anything on the undercoated panels where I'm going to be painting soon. But very stiff, very tight, and so I've actually put a little bit of lubrication on these ones, and I'll see if it makes much of a difference. And anyway. Put the old safety glasses on. Okay, well, I might try and get this back door on. beautiful day today. Okay, well I've got 4 nuts on there, so hopefully that won't, the door won't drop on the ground now. Well, all the doors are sitting back on. This side here, the panel gaps aren't too bad. There's probably just a couple of little areas, but the thing is, I don't know whether this front door is a bit twisted or something, because it's sitting out at the bottom. It doesn't look too bad at the front, it's mainly at the back, and then it actually is sitting in a bit here, and it's this driver's side is the main problem. I've been trying to shuffle the doors back and forwards and not having a whole lot of luck, but there's a rather a big gap there, and then there's a fairly big gap there, and then this is the front guard there that's got to have some attention where it's had a bit of steel welded in that section just at the edge there. It's sort of got a large gap at the top, and then it goes down. It's not too bad at the bottom. So this is all a ton of fun. It would have been nice if I'd have just put them all on and they all look good, but anyway, we'll see what we can work out. Okay, so this door here, if I sit it so it's about level there, it's got a big gap there. Up the front it seems all pretty good. And so, I've wondered if the door is a bit twisted. So as I was laying in my bed last night, when most of my brilliant ideas come to me, I thought maybe I can try and twist this with a bit of bar inside the door and lever it like so, and it'll probably be too easy if it works so easily. It's that.
Unfortunately, that didn't go to plan. I had hoped that that door would straighten up quite easily, but it's not that easy, unfortunately. But I just want to add too that I've taken numerous measurements on diagonals across the car at all sorts of different points to check for anything being out of square. Everything seems to be equal on both sides when I measure. I've measured doors and all sorts of measurements, and I really don't believe that the car is out of whack. I think that the problem is definitely in that door. So I'm going to come back and address it later.
So I've got all the doors bolted on, the bonnet, the front guards, and I've sort of see where all my issues, little things that I've got to fix to get it all to look somewhere near right. And would have been nice if it all all would have gone together with a bit less of the issues that I've got. The passenger front door doesn't line up real well. I'm not sure whether the door is a bit twisted. Just got to investigate that a little bit more. So yeah, and as I've mentioned, I've got this right front guard that's not looking real great fit, but I suppose when you've got a car that's 40 years old, you've got to expect those things. And the doors were 3 or 4 different colours when I got the car, so obviously they're all off different vehicles, and you just don't know, what accidents or whatever they might have, the cars that they came off might have been in. And anyway, so yeah, the other day I had a little orange Ford Escort come up on my Facebook page that had been freshly painted, and I just made a comment on there and put a picture of mine saying I'm halfway there, and the guy says, oh, I've actually been watching your build on YouTube. But anyway, with that little car, what I did notice, and when I did paint the inside of this, I was sort of in two minds whether to actually paint the pillars here yellow and the parcel tray, whether to paint that yellow, because I thought it might cause a lot of reflection in the rear, on the rear screen. And I did notice that little orange one that I saw from about this line across here back, it had been painted with the flat black, and I think I might actually do that. And yeah, but anyway, yeah, today is the last day of the year, and tomorrow being New Year's Day, so I just wish everyone a happy new year. And I thought I might just pull this video up here and upload it, so perhaps there's people on holidays and a bit bored looking for something to do. Give them something to watch, and yeah, then I'll come back and address all these issues and these things that are going to probably cause me headaches, and then we'll work towards getting some paint on it. I'll probably continue to order a few more bits and pieces in January. I want to look at probably getting the diff organised, and I think I'll get the gearbox stripped and checked over, get that organised, and then I'll just have to chase up. I haven't had any response from the couple of people I sent for quotes for to get the rear seat upholstered. So I'll have to chase that up, and I'll have to chase up the guy, still haven't chased up the guy that's got the steering wheel, and yeah, just continue to make steady progress, I suppose. Sometimes it sort of all gets a bit much when you look at everything you've got to do, so you've just got to look at doing one little piece of the puzzle at a time, just get one little thing out of the way and just keep going. Okay, so anyway, as I said before, I wish you all a happy new year, and we'll see you in the next video in the new year. Thanks for watching, and as always, remember, like and subscribe if you haven't already.